So to startups, let's talk about product photos. This might be one of the most important things that you can do to drive sales. I noticed that starting out that I was very blessed to have Miss 731 as my partner to because she has a marketing degree and she's also a avid shopper, so she really realizes what needs to be there to drive that sale, to drive that desire of your customer to want to purchase your product. We're going to dive into some of the kind of the psychological part of that, but also some really real life examples of how you can make better product photos. First and foremost, if you have a modern smartphone, this is all you need to take good photos. You don't need a high end, very expensive camera, anything like that. The cameras that are in modern smartphones are absolutely fantastic. So don't worry about, I don't have the right camera. What you need is light, and light will make a huge difference. It could be sunlight. If you can get enough natural light coming in, you can use that. You can also purchase lights, things like that, but they will make a massive difference. You can tell right now I have lights on me to light up the video. If I don't have those on, I've got two actually, three if you count the one above my head, but I can turn off this one right here beside me and you can see it kind of gets a little dimmer. It makes a difference. Lighting makes a difference. So if you can, it doesn't have to be expensive lighting. You can buy little LED lights, different video lights, things like that on Amazon for very cheap. And so one thing you want to do is make sure you have good lighting, and that's going to make a massive difference. All right. So the next thing I'll do is jump into some real life examples to help you take better product photos. I'm telling you, this is important if you want to make sales. It doesn't matter if you're selling locally, like you're posting on Facebook Marketplace, or if you're selling on Etsy, or if you're selling on your own website. If the customer doesn't, it can't clearly see the product and know what you're selling and get a good visualization of it, you're not going to make the sale. They're just going to go somewhere else. So let's jump right into this. So this is Etsy. We're going to look at them first because it's a very popular program. I typed in cutting board because this is very, very popular item as far as people wanting to sell cutting boards. So, first off, when you search cutting boards, Etsy's going to surface the best performers and things like that. So, it takes a while to get ranked on Etsy. We're going to get into that on Etsy 101. But you can see right up front the top listings that are showing, that's been shown to me, are also, they'll throw in stuff like that, that little template. But this is cutting boards. Like you can see the product photos, every one of them are very well lit. They're also nice contrast on here. You got a white background with a dark colored wood. You don't want to have, I don't really care for this one, honestly. These two right here, these two best sellers, because it's too much darkness there. There's nothing contrasting. This was a good one. Like this one right here is really good. They got it staged. You'll hear me say staged a lot. All that means is they're putting things on it like it was in use. So if you have a table, there may be a place setting on there or decorations, etc. You're basically staging it as if it was in use. Now, these are some of the most popular cutting boards on Etsy, and you can see some of them are absolutely amazing. Like there's some really cool detail. Some of them are very basic, like this one, literally just a white background with a cutting board. That's it. And I'm gonna give you a website to show you how to remove that background. Very easy, but very good product photos here. So just kind of take that in mind when you start looking to make your product photos, like what angles are they using, and go into some of these shops. Like if you're wanting to compete in this area on Etsy, no matter what you're selling, find their products, find the top sellers, and be like, well, what makes that stand out? What drew my attention to it, and let me see if I can duplicate that with a good photo like they're taking. So like this one, what angle are they using? How many pictures do they have? What different angles do they have? Make sure you're looking at this stuff and paying attention. Take notes on what actually is working, because like this one, 18,000 reviews, which means not everybody leaves a review, by the way. Not everybody. So they have tons of reviews, tons of purchases, and we're just going to jump into their listing. Like they've literally went the extra mile here with the staging. They got actors, could be you and your spouse, your kids, whatever. Like it's a gift, so it's showing him giving the gift. Like that kind of stuff really matters. It may sound cheesy sometimes, but it matters. It also gives good detail. You've got the width, the length, and the depth of this board. It's letting you know up front how big this board is. It makes a ginormous difference. And then staging, again, they have it well lit. And one thing that I noticed just looking at this, it's the contrasting background. So it's a dark background, the light colored wood. They also used contrasting colors for the props. So the cheeses and the grapes, it contrasts well with the product. So those really stand out. And then you also have the lighting. If you notice, the lighting's actually coming from above the picture, shining down, because as you can see the shadows casting down. That shadowing and that lighting, it really accentuates or highlights those products or the props in there, and it really makes them stand out a lot more too. It's not complicated. You can literally just get a little small LED light and put behind those glasses and things. It's going to cast that shadow. It's really not that complicated. And again, good contrasting colors. You can see it. They have several photos showing it. Made in the USA. That way they can drive that home. I have no affiliation to these people. I just pulled this one up. Now, if you're building furniture, a couple amazing places you can look is this place called Ballard Designs. My wife likes to shop there, ballarddesigns.com. Just go there and search whatever you're looking for, end tables, dressers, dining tables, whatever you're selling. Go there and look at how they do their products. You can see some of them are staged up in rooms, and some of them are just the product with a white background. If you notice Amazon, when you go to Amazon, what do their product photos look like? They're all white backgrounds. It's just a contrasting background to what you're getting, especially on these darker colors. And then when you hover over these pictures, it shows them staged. So you're basically getting the basic picture, but when you click into the listing and go in there, you can really get a sense of how they're staging this stuff up and showing it in use. And that's massive. So we'll check these out. So you can see this one, out there. You can see this one here. It shows me that I've got a tray that I can pull out and use as a charging station. And then it also has some books up there, some extra props up there, like this little dish, a couple of books, the plant. Like, it doesn't take much. You have stuff in your house you can stage with. And this will make a big difference in your sales. Why? Because people want to imagine it in their space with their stuff on it. That's what it matters. So you can look through all of these listings and check out some of the stuff on Ballard Design. This is a good website to use for staging ideas to figure out how you're going to stage your product and take photos. You can also know that all of this stuff is well lit. They're using contrasting colors, the contrasting props on there, the contrasting floor. Like, you may not have a contrasting floor to the piece, but try to put contrasting colors around it to make that piece pop out. It's also, the lighting's really good, well done. They probably have professional lighting here, but if you had this in a room, take it on a sunny day, open the blinds or the curtains up so that the natural light flows in, not directly, you don't want the sun shining directly on it, but if it's like noon and the sun's overhead, you get good natural lighting coming in your house, open those windows up, things like that, take really good photos. All right, next up, this is IKEA. Everybody knows IKEA. They make cheap furniture, and they sell a bunch of it. So the reason I want you to notice this, again, the white backgrounds, we're going to tell you how to remove backgrounds here in a minute. But when you click into the photo, that's the most important thing, I think. So when you get in here, you're going to, what are we doing here? Click into this, and we'll figure out, okay, this is a shelving unit that you can buy. Looks like it's modular, so you can do multiple things with it. But again, they're showing it on a contrasting color, a darker color background. This is a white product, and they have things in it. Books and decorations and all that stuff. Like, all of this, I'm going to show you some real life stuff that I did too, that my wife did to help me out. But you can see that they're literally showing it in use or making it appear to be in use. That's one of the main things you're wanting to look for in these type of photos. Another good place I like to use, and we've used a bunch for ideas to build things as well as ideas to how to stage it up, is go to Kirklands.com. If you don't know, they sell like wall decor and furniture and things like that. And then you can get you're going to see a common theme here. And the reason why is it works. Contrasting backgrounds, well lit with props and things around it and on it. So this is like a little end table. You can just really search a bunch of different styles. Like, they're selling this for $219. You could build that for $20-$30 out of common lumber. So, and then they staged it up. They got products on there and different things like that. So that's what I want you to take away from this. Make sure you're staging your products up, because if you just take a picture of this, say you built this end table and it's on your workbench and you took a picture of it and put it on Facebook Marketplace and said, this is for sale for $200. It's going to be a hard sell. It really is. People are going to want to know what it looks like in a setting. So you need to really be doing that. And as far as like if you're selling wall decor, this is a good way to check out what's working and how they've staged theirs up to, because wall decor is a little different in that you don't have a bunch of stuff around it, right? You just have it on the surface, but they have it hung up. They don't have it leaning against the wall. They don't have it like laying flat. They've literally took a picture of it on the wall and then they've zoomed in and showed you a little bit of the detail of what you're getting. Took a couple different angles, things like that. So that's always a good idea to check this kind of sites out to figure out how to take proper photos. All right, so this is one of my eBay listings. This is one of the top sellers, and this was the stove covers that we sold. Sold hundreds of these things, and the reason why these took off is because of proper photos. And I'm going to show you in. Let me jump over to a different screen here and show you. This is my Photos app on my computer here, but you can see. Well, I'll jump through several of these. These are all properly staged photos. Miss 731 is a master stager. But you can see this is a darker colored wood. This is dark walnut, and this is one of my top sellers, dark walnut was. And then we put contrasting stuff on top. So she's got the tea kettle. She's got a couple of other dishes here that really pop, and you've shown it on the stove. This literally doesn't fit my stove. If you notice, it's a little bit too thin right here, and it's a little too thin right there. That doesn't really matter. This one wasn't built for my stove. This was a custom size built for somebody else's. But every time I built a custom piece, I staged it up and took photos because I wanted to be able to duplicate that listing on Etsy. I had multiple listings on Etsy, not just variations, and that really helped drive sales, more reach. I also took different angles of this stuff, and just for funsies, that's me cleaning the stove with my sander. But you can see there's different colors you can offer. I think this is Black Cherry is the name of the stain. Same design, same style, but we also, again, that lighter colored contrasting stuff on top really makes a huge difference. So here's a white one. We also used like this blue color. We got dishes on there. There's a red color on there. So there's different ways to contrast stuff, but you can see the theme here that everything is staged. I also took pictures of them plain, but they were later in the listing so that when they landed on my listing, the first thing they saw was that staged photo. Let me run back up here and get a couple of different more for you just to check out. If I could find one. That's a good one. This is just black. So black, this white contrasting stuff, even the lighter colored cutting board on top, literally just staging things up. So that's what you want to do. You want to really showcase your product. Jump back over to the website stuff. I want a couple more things I want to show you here on product photos. This is my new website, Faith Valley Tools, just launched or should be launched by the time you see this. This is our card scraper product page. A couple of these I don't care for, and a couple of these I do. I like the Be the Light. I like the Send Me. All of these are I like. I like them because of the contrast. The way I'm staging these up, we've got literally shavings that I made with the card scraper. So it shows that it actually has shavings. It's actually in use. Kind of gives you that idea. This one I don't care for. It's not well lit. It's hard to see that logo on there. I'll likely change that one and get a different one. It's hard to know until you really put it somewhere where you can see it, get it off the phone onto a computer and kind of see what's going on. But it's also good to see these on the phone because a lot of your shoppers, the majority of your shoppers are going to be on mobile. So if you want to make sure all of your stuff looks right on mobile as well. All right, this is my website, 731woodworks.com. This is our store part of the website. We have different things here. We got a lot going on. We got digital products as well as physical products. So I've tweaked these over time to figure out what works and what don't. And what works for digital products is this kind of stuff, like bold print, clear images to show what you're getting. It doesn't matter if you're on mobile or desktop. When you land on this, you can really see what's going on. The board butter's the same way. The CA glue holder, it's a digital file. But these things are a good way to kind of showcase your product if you're selling digital. That's mainly what I wanted to show you here is the digital stuff. There is physical stuff here like the board butter, stuff like that. But these digital products is passive income. So if you can figure out a way to make your product or your stuff digital, if you want to sell digital items, once you do it, it's just there and can generate income for you. All right, so how do you remove the background of these photos? Like if you take a good photo of, say, your end table and you want to remove that, remove.bg is one of the better websites. I use this all the time for thumbnails, all the time, to remove the background from a tool or from myself, different things like that. That's how I put my face on different thumbnails, and that's how you do it. So this one needs to be cleaned up. It's not perfect. It's not always perfect, but we could clean this up. Just seeing this here, I would be like, man, I don't know that I'd want to use that as a product photo because it's not high contrast. Because if you put that on a white background, which is essentially what you got, it's kind of hard to make that stand out. You could also, but when you land on remove, it's not, so you can get some free versions. Basically, you can download the small pixel version for free, and you can, the high quality version costs, I think it's, use so many credits for so much money. It's not expensive at all. I literally use this all the time. But if I wanted to say use this to drop in a end table here, or a coffee table that's a dark color, this was on my workbench. You can see it, swipe it away. This is pretty good. Like, I could use this. Now there's a little bit of right there, but we can restore that. There's an erase and restore where you want to, I didn't push the button right. I'm doing it wrong. I zoomed in. I shouldn't have zoomed in. That's where I messed up. All right, so you can see it restored that part. Now we're done. And I can take this photo and put it on a white background. I can clean this up a little more with the restore, whatever, if there's some aliasing there, like right around that bottom. But it's usable now. I can really use this to kind of clean things up. I don't really care for this angle, just showing you as an example. You can throw things in here. Literally, it's just drag and drop. So if you have photos on your computer, drag and drop them on this website, and it will remove the background from them easily. So that's a good way to kind of clean up things and get you a good product photo that you just want to remove the background from, because sometimes you do. This is another one I'm going to show you here, how I do these things all the time. I use this. This is probably one of my most used apps on the internet. So you can only use PNGs and JPEGs, I believe, for this app. I'm trying to find a good photo here for you. I got so many. Well, you get the picture. So that's the remove.bg is one of those you can use. You can also use Canva, canva.com. A lot of people use Canva to do product photos and things like that. There is a background remover feature on there. Let's see if I can find so up here on the top, once you get into Canva, up here around this top row here, you're able to kind of look and see where you're going to post this. Are you going to post Facebook post, Instagram post, stuff like that? So you can kind of customize it. Basically sets the size for you already, and then you have basically a blank canvas here. And if we're going to do something like I don't know, we'll feature, trying to find one with the background. I've already removed all the backgrounds. Like this guy. I want to put my picture in there for whatever reason. Click edit photo, background, BG remover, and it should remove everything but me from there. See? Bing, like magic. And from there, I can download this with a transparent background. So you just click share, download, transparent background, bam, download right there. And it'll download this exact thing, but it'll only have like a transparent background. So you can use it in any other photo app. You can still use it in this. If you wanted to, add something else in here, say I wanted to be pointing at this or whatever the product is, we can really kind of customize stuff inside Canva. There's a free version, there's a paid version, there's always a paid version of this stuff, but you can kind of really tweak and get your product photos down using Canva or any other app. I use Affinity Photo a lot for my photos because it lets you tweak some things and do a few other things that are a little more advanced. But Canva is perfectly fine for starting out, especially if you take a good quality photo, good lighting, high contrast. And if you do need to remove the background, you can use Canva as well, but sometimes it doesn't do as good a job as remove.bg. You just have to try both. I think Sticker Mule, if you use Sticker Mule for get your stickers from, they also have a program called Trace, and they let you use it so many times a day, like 5 or 6 times a day for free, I think it is. So you can really, you can use that as well. I'll show you what it looks like really quick. So we're here, so you know. Yeah, Trace is stickermule.com/trace. Once you go there, you can literally just drag and drop stuff into there as well. and you can see how if it works. Sometimes it doesn't work as well. So if one program doesn't work, try another one and see if it works better for you. Because sometimes some of them, I guess, their algorithms they're using or the AI you're using to remove the background, some of them work better than the other. That one worked pretty good. So we don't have that spot like that. You can download it. You can literally order prints from it or whatever. And so that's one of the ways you can use to remove backgrounds if you just want that white background, kind of like that was shown on Kirkland's and Ballard Designs, things like that. If you're looking for those type photos, especially the white background ones, that might be a good way to get that picture. But honestly, starting out, I wouldn't really too much worry about the white backgrounds. It looks good on some photos because it's only that product. But when they click into it, then they can really see it staged up in use. That's where I found the most success. Good lighting, contrasting colors, staged in use. And I think that's where you're really going to see a major difference if you haven't tried that yet in your business. Get those photos done, redo photos that are old. We did that a bunch. We went back and retook photos of products that we still have, or we make a new one for somebody else. And the other photos weren't that great because of lighting or whatever. I was just getting better over time. You can always go back and update those. I do that on thumbnails on YouTube. I go back and update older thumbnails that aren't as good because I get better over time. So you just kind of do that. Just make sure you're always reevaluating where you're at with your pictures and things. It's going to make a massive difference in your business if you can get good product photos. I can't stress how important that is because it really does sell the product, because they have no other way of knowing what your product is or anything about it until they see the photo. It's just like when you're on YouTube and you're scrolling through, something catches your eye and makes you at least stop and read the title. And that's the same thing your photos are doing. You're trying to catch attention with that photo with contrasting colors, good lighting, and that'll really, really up your sales. Good luck.